Holy We're about to embark on a 2,000-kilometer round trip to buy a fake Lamborghini, sight unseen on Facebook Marketplace. That does sound kind of stupid when you say it out loud. As you've probably noticed, all of the biggest automotive YouTubers are buying and building crashed supercars. Unfortunately, here in Australia, we do not have a second-hand supercar market. And even if we did, I could definitely not afford one.
And there's no money in here!
But over the past couple of months, I've been trying to figure out what we're gonna build next on the channel. And the other day I was chilling, scrolling Facebook Marketplace as you do, when the perfect build popped up on my feed. Hey, get out! So right now we've got the trailer loaded up on the back of the ute, and we're about to embark on a huge journey to buy the most expensive car I've ever bought on this channel. Of course, I can't do it alone, so I'm taking my good friend, Nathan Maccabee.
What's going on?
Give us your first thoughts on the car we're about to pick up.
I'm very nervous.
But enough talking, let's go pick up this freaking car. We're headed from Melbourne, Australia, all the way up to New South Wales, which is basically a 10-hour drive on the same road the entire way. So we're about halfway into the drive right now, and the nerves are definitely starting to build. I've been so excited for this for the past couple of weeks. This has been a deal that has been in the making for about a month now. We're about 3 hours away from seeing the car for the first time, and I cannot wait to get my hands on this thing. So we topped up for fuel a few more times, and before we knew it, the sun was starting to set. And if this isn't a sign, I don't know what is. And finally, we arrived at our destination and saw the car for the first time. We have our first kind of glimpse of the Lamborghini, and dang, this thing is so wide.
It's got a big ass, that's what it's got.
Matty Hill,
Hey!
my man. His channel is in the description. You have to check out his super
Matty Hill
build.
Drift. Yeah, we've got a new super build happening this year.
It's insane.
I'm spewing I couldn't do that. That is such a cool car, and the plans that you have with it is insane. I cannot wait to see it.
We're gonna get this thing loaded up. I'm so excited, dude.
Let's just drive straight through the night. Let's not stop. We'll just go.
We'll see you guys in 9.5 hours. Oh my God. So we loaded the car on the trailer and got straight back on the road. So we're now back in the car. We couldn't find a hotel to stay at, so we decided we're just gonna head straight back to Melbourne, 2,000 kilometers driven in a single day. We get back to Melbourne at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. We've got another 7 hours left to go of the trip. So I'll see you guys at the shop. As we finally rolled the car into the shop, we got a first-hand perspective on just how wide and how much presence these cars really have. So we made it back safe, and the car is now in the shop, and I guess I have a little bit of explaining to do. So this is a Lamborghini Diablo VT kit car. The concept of kit cars can be traced back to the post-World War II era, and these vehicles have a unique place in automotive history. One of the primary reasons kit cars gained popularity was their cost-effectiveness. Kit cars provide a more affordable alternative, allowing enthusiasts to own a high-performance vehicle without the hefty price tag. And this shell was made by a company in America, and they do an insane job. The quality is actually pretty amazing. But this is not the chassis that this car is supposed to sit on. This is actually an FC RX-7 chassis. And as you can see, well, the wheelbase is not right.
Just a little bit out.
Now, obviously, we need a chassis for this shell to go on. And I'll let you guys know exactly what we're going to be using a little bit later in the video. But essentially, we're going to make a full-blown Lamborghini track car build. I have a fair idea of the engine I want to use in this thing, but if you guys have any ideas, please feel free to drop them in the comments below. But let's get the shell off the chassis, and let's get it sitting a little bit lower so we can get a better perspective of exactly how this thing actually is going to look. We're using the hoist to remove the shell off the FC RX-7 chassis, and we have to be super careful that we don't crack the fiberglass body.
That's sick.
That's hilarious. Oh my God, look at that, dude. So we immediately got to work fabricating a dolly for the shell to sit on so we could push it outside and test fit some wheels. Yep, that's where our priorities lie. So this is a dolly creation that Woz has come up with so that we can move the car outside and around the shop as need be. But now is the fun part, because we get to pull this thing outside to give you guys a better perspective for how this thing could look. So the Lambo's officially outside on its dollies, and this is the height that really these cars are supposed to sit at, and immediately you get a perspective for how awesome these things look. One thing I want to show you guys is how freaking cool this is going to look with real wheels on this thing, and luckily my boy Nathan has bought his Minervas just so we can do a little bit of a test fit on this thing, but we're just going to sit him under the car. I'm so freaking excited for this, dude. Look at that. Holy moly, dude. Look at that. That looks friggin' insane, dude. What do you think?
That's awesome.
It's definitely it. Like, so good. So these are 18 by 10 wheels. And I was kind of wondering what size would kind of work for us, right? What are they, 8, 10 and a half?
10 and a half. 18, 10 and a half.
Yep.
Plus 5.
So I was thinking maybe we'd have to run 19s, or we might have to run 19s on the rear. But like, 18s look fantastic on this thing. Holy moly, dude. What a shape these are. One thing we haven't shown them, the scissor doors.
True.
Literally the best thing about this car.
You tell them we're making it left-hand drive?
We are absolutely not. Look at that, dude. So good. And the one crazy thing about this car is just how freaking low it is. Like,
You're a Flintstone. You're gonna sit so low.
like that's
My head's hitting the ground, and I'm like.
your head's hitting the roof, you mean?
Ground.
Wait, you're pretty
My head's
low.
hitting the roof, but I'm like.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, like building this thing and kind of figuring out the seating positions and all that, but just immediately, like, I'm so freaking turned on by how good that looks. It's crazy. So I guess you guys are probably wondering, what chassis are we gonna be sitting this thing on? Well, of course, it couldn't be anything other than the E36. Oh my God, dude, this is absolute trash. Luckily, Nathan had this chassis sitting in his farm, and it was literally sitting on its side. But lucky for us, all we're gonna be using on this is literally the flat floor pan, I guess, with 2 strut towers and nothing else. So thanks, Nathan, for dropping that off, and thanks for coming and picking the car up. Everyone go subscribe to Nathan's channel.
The wheelbase of a car is the distance between the centers of the front and rear wheels. This is particularly important when you're building a kit car like ours, as it determines where the wheels sit within the wheel arches. Luckily for me, the BMW E36 and the Lamborghini Diablo wheelbases are within 50 millimeters of each other.
Not only that, but the E36 chassis makes so much sense because I already drift one of these things in competition, so we already have all of the knowledge on the car and the chassis. Not to mention, here at Two Step Garage, we sell all of the parts you need to build a great E36 track car. Now, obviously, the Diablo shell is much wider than the E36, and that's just one of the challenges we're gonna have to overcome when building this car, and trust me, there are gonna be many. But my ADD has got the better of me, and I'm so keen to get to work on this thing. So right now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna clean this frickin' shell. Yeah, there's a couple of years of grime on this thing. We've got our trusty Sonax shampoo. This stuff smells so frickin' good. We're gonna coat this thing, and hopefully it loosens up all this dirt and it just sprays off nicely. That would be the ideal situation.
Luckily, the soap has taken care of the 10 plus years of dirt and grime. This is going to be one hella satisfying wash.
We now have a clean Lamborghini Diablo shell. And it actually came up pretty good considering. The one thing I'm really curious about is these yellow parts on the shell. I'm wondering whether someone decided to start painting the car and then just never finished it, because it doesn't look like primer to me. Like, this looks like actual paint. So I reckon someone decided to start painting it the Lamborghini Diablo yellow and then kind of gave up on that idea and only painted 2 parts of the car. It's very strange. It's something that kind of irks me. So I'm gonna go ahead and paint these parts primer gray so that the whole shell is one color. YouTube magic, 3, 2, 1. Now we're talking. Oh, the skyline went upwards as well. This thing looks so much better, all one color, and I've even got the TEs sitting under it at the moment as well. Just to give you guys a bit of a glimpse as to what it could look like with TEs on it, although I think I prefer the Minervas because of the bling factor, but the TEs still look pretty sick, but just the profile of the car itself, how low it is. This thing is gonna be an absolutely wild build. With every build we do on this channel, we've been stepping it up, and this car is gonna be no exception. This thing is gonna be unlike any drift car that exists in Australia. So make sure you like and subscribe to follow along with this journey. We're starting immediately tomorrow, cutting up the E36 chassis so we can sit the shell on top and get the ball rolling on this build. I wanna give a massive shout out to the sponsors that have helped make this build possible. SP Tools, Optima Batteries, Phoenix Radiators, Autobahn, Raceworks, you're all freaking amazing, including you. You make these builds possible as well, so thank you. But that is it for this episode, guys. I hope you're hyped on this build. I cannot freaking wait to get stuck into it. It's gonna be an absolutely wild ride, but thank you guys very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace, bye. Honestly, crazy. Cannot wait to build this freaking Lamborghini drift car, AKA the Scamborghini. Bye.